Peace, family. Will Roundtree here. You're here with us on the Wealth Files, and I'm actually here with a very special guest. But before I get into our special guest, if you have not done so, please make sure you go out and pick up a copy of not just my first book, Credit is King, but also my book, Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you about, all the unglamorized stuff about business, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely road. Would you agree?
It can be.
It definitely can be.
I wouldn't say it was. I have a very, very strong team behind me, though.
And that's really important. We're going to talk about the team. So without further ado, I want to introduce one of our very special, all of our guests are special, but, definitely I'm extremely excited about this episode. Very short notice, very last minute. I want to, just thank you for coming out.
No problem.
Definitely thank you for coming out. So I want to introduce everybody to Melissia Rene. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Kind of tired.
Kind of tired?
Yeah, last 3 days have been crazy.
Did you have to drive up, fly out?
Well, on Friday, I was in Atlanta because we went to the fights in Atlanta, Devontae Davis fight.
That was a really good fight.
Yeah, so we went to the fights and then we turned around and left on Saturday night after the fight, 3 a.m.
Okay.
Came into Vegas and then I got home about 6, got up in the morning and drove to LA and then I just drove back today.
Wow.
So yeah.
So I feel very good that you made that drive last minute because you could have been doing anything else.
Yeah.
And I know you crisscrossing the country. You got a lot of people tugging at you. So again, thank you.
No, not a problem at all.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about building relationships when it comes to, building a brand, building a business. But before we go into that, just tell the people and the viewers a little bit about just who you are.
Well, my name is Melissia Rene. I have a clothing boutique. I've had it for about 6 years now, almost probably going on 7. I started off, I opened a storefront, and I had that storefront for 4 years. And then
you passed a 2-year hump.
Yeah. Oh, and my first 2 years were ridiculous.
That's great.
I made the most money in my first 2 years.
That's great.
And, of course, they say most businesses fail within the first 2 years, but it was crazy for me.
Definitely.
Then I just started looking at different things, overhead and all that. And not only that, like online is just the way to go.
Definitely.
So I said,
brick and mortar is dying.
There you go.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? Let me just close the storefront. And then I downsized and I had like a showroom. You could still come in, you could shop. But, I was just like, let me just, downsize. So I did that and I had that for like 2 years. And then I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? Let me just do strictly online. There's no need to have all that overhead when you could sell just what you were selling before.
And people
online.
shop online more often anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I've noticed like even big stores like BB and so many
They're
Top Shops, they're all closing because, they're...
Top Shop used to be one of my favorite stores out here.
Man, I was so mad. I buy their jeans. I'm like, what? But at least too, what I think is good about what they did.
Right.
People wore their clothes, so you know how it fits.
Yep, definitely.
So you already know if you buy it offline, you already know what you need.
Yeah,
exactly. So that was a good thing about it. But everybody's like you said, it's the wave. They're shopping online.
Now, when you started to downsize the actual boutique, how was that? Because I know sometimes people are emotionally attached to the stuff.
Yes.
How was that for you?
Was it
easy?
Sad. It was a sad feeling to me. Like at first I was like, I ain't tripping, like I'm a down. And it was like once I started cleaning up and all that, and then you think about all the money that you invested into it, into the the business itself, doing the remodeling that I had to do. I had to make it into a boutique. There was no dressing rooms. There was no this, that.
So it was your baby.
It was my baby.
Definitely.
So like it did hit me. I will say I probably dropped a tear or two.
Okay.
But I was like, just like with anything else in life, you move on.
Definitely.
And so that's what I did, and I just, just kept it moving.
Okay. If you don't mind us asking, how'd you even get into that space in the industry?
So I always, like, I'm a woman, and one thing about me, like, I feel my best when I get dressed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So my hair's done, I'm dressed nice.
Definitely.
That makes me feel good. And I always felt like I had, style, my own style.
Correct.
So everybody used to be like, won't you be a stylist? And I'm like, no, like, I can't style other people. You know what I'm saying? I can style myself, but I can't style other people. So, my daughter's father's Floyd Mayweather, and he was like, look, whatever business venture you want to do, I'll help you, whatever you want to do.
Great.
So I said, okay, I want to open a boutique, and I want to sell clothes. So that's what I did. I just ran with that. And actually, my boutique wasn't just like clothes. What I did was, again, with the hair and everything, And the front of my store was a boutique, and then the back I had 2 private stations where you could get your hair done. Right. So I had
one-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop. You can get everything done. And then, like the hair side of it really wasn't working. So then I took that out. I said, okay, this, just going into my business mode, I got to do something else with it to make it work. So I ended up changing it into, I had 2 private nail techs back there. That worked, all the way up until when I closed, and it was like, they're like, damn, like you closing? Like, yeah, I got to close up. But
now, you said something that was interesting, not to cut you off. You said the hair salon portion wasn't working, but just to have the mindset and the critical thinking skills to say, you know what, this wasn't working, instead of handling it emotionally, you said, let me switch it up.
Yeah, I had to switch it up.
A lot of people can't do that. And I think that's really the epitome of being an entrepreneur, is being able to solve problems. How has that been for you just throughout your entire career of being able to pivot and call an audible quickly?
I don't think it's a problem with at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I started working when I was 13 years old. Okay. So I always knew I wanted to be about my money.
Definitely.
And so I just was like, the thing is I don't want to lose money. So how can I make this 1,000 square feet in the back work? I don't want to just use it for inventory. Right. We're going to make something else out of it.
Every space count.
And I did that, and I put them back there, and I didn't want to have the hassle of the, people who come in pay me. I do booth rent, just straight out booth rent. You pay to have your spot. It's more comfortable for them that way. They had their own clients, so they came in, and it just really worked out for me that way. Like literally, if I would have kept it open, they probably would still be with me to this day, everything. And that's the thing, like even my daughter's father was like, don't close, And I'm like, it's not that I'm giving up, I'm just being smarter.
Absolutely.
He always tells me we gotta, what is it that he says? You gotta work harder, not smarter. Definitely. I mean, you gotta work smarter, not harder, whatever it is he says. Something like that. But
we all get it.
You guys get what I'm saying. But yeah, like literally you have to be smart about it. And you don't wanna just be wasting money and, because you may have it, you know what I'm saying? That's just not how it works.
Correct. And that goes into how I always tell people you have to remove the emotion out of business because they don't go together.
Exactly.
And then kind of springboarding off what you were talking about, building your team and they will still be with you. How instrumental was having a team to help you? Because a lot of times when people see the brand, the brand ambassador of a business or a company, they think it's just that one person, but you can't do it without a solid team.
Right.
So how beneficial has building a team, having mentors and all of that been beneficial for you and your growth?
I wouldn't really say I've had a mentor, so to speak. Like my daughter's father is just, with him being as business-minded as he is and, being a billionaire before, the age of 40 and all that. Like, I do look up to a lot of what he does, and you like, you
so
just
even
listen
just being around that.
Yeah, being around that will definitely influence you
and
make
step
you be
your game
like,
up real quick.
I gotta get my stuff together, because you definitely want to, if anything, just push for that,
100%.
So I had like my family, and I know they say don't mix family and business, but I've always felt like I got a different type of family.
100%.
My family isn't like everybody else's family. Very trustworthy. I can give you anything, you know what I'm saying? And I'll know that I can trust you with it.
Right.
So my dad's been there from day one as far as like he does my shipping, handles all that stuff. It's just, and then like, my friends. I've been friends with these people for a long time. My friends helped me. Like I had no fallouts with that. I did hire in some employees and stuff that I had to let go, which hurt me because I was like, dang, like I literally for a small clothing boutique, I had 6 employees when I first started. That was entirely too much.
Right.
But I never had, ran a business before. I didn't know. I just, again, was getting some money and knew I wanted to do something with it. But everything I learned from scratch, you know what I'm saying?
You just
it's
went
like
out
riding
and
a bike.
did it.
I went out and I did it, and I'm like,
just go out and do it.
Exactly. And once you learn, you don't
unlearn
forget
it.
that.
Right.
Yeah, you don't forget that. So going forward, if you do another business, you're going to take that and what you've learned, and move forward and not make those same mistakes because I did make a lot of mistakes.
Oh,
a lot.
So
of
let's
mistakes.
talk about the mistakes. I always say that mistakes are really just lessons or experience. How does one learn from that, and learn not to stew in it? How do you learn to separate the emotion and not just be like, oh, man, this happened. Oh, my gosh, it's the end of the world. Because I see that happen a lot with a lot of entrepreneurs. So how did you separate the two?
Well, I think that I just really was like, I didn't want to come down on myself too hard. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, look, this is new to you, and you're going to fall and you just get back up and just keep it moving. Like I just had to really just say, just keep pushing. I'm like one of those people like, I used to care about what other people thought.
Correct.
Like before I opened my store, I would say I probably was about 130 pounds, right? I went all the way down to about 123 pounds before I opened my doors because I was working so hard.
Oh,
and I
you
was
don't have time
so,
to think.
Yeah, and I
You're
was
not
so
eating.
nervous about
Right.
are people going to like this? Are they going to think
Right.
this looks good enough for them? And I had to tell myself, like, don't worry about what nobody else thinks. You know what I'm saying? This is about you.
Right.
And if you like it, it looks good to you, that's all that matters,
Correct.
And so I kept that mind state and I was just like, just keep moving forward. And when I tell you, it's when you worry about it the most is when people are just like, oh my God.
100%.
Like, they loved it, So and like I said, my first 2 years of business were my greatest.
Correct.
I mean, I couldn't even believe how much money I made.
Right.
I was really, really shocked. But, you have to factor in different things that you had
100%.
to do and traveling and back and
Right.
forth. But I loved it. And that's the thing, too. You have to be passionate about what you're doing.
You have to.
Yeah. If you're not, you will not do good at it.
I always say one of my first business investments I made, I did it for the money and it failed horribly.
See?
And then when I got into my current business and teaching about credit and all of that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go out and do this without, charging or having a dollar amount attached to it. And it grew to be my largest business endeavor.
Right.
And so something that you also said that really stood out is just how you handle things. And you say, your mindset is kind of what I took from that. How important is having a strong mindset when not even just going through business, but life? How you handle conflict, how you handle a problem client or a customer.
Right.
How do you deal with, your merchant account possibly being on hold and, not being able to get inventory in a timely manner? Like, how do you deal with those things? And is mindset important when it comes to that?
I just had to know that, like, whatever's going on, like, whatever's going to be worked out.
Right.
Like, I can't fall into that, I don't know. I just learned to have over these last, I don't even know, 12, 13 years, just how to have thick skin,
Definitely.
with who I'm attached to. There's so much that comes along with that.
Right.
And if you let certain things get to you, whether it's people, whether it's your business or whatever, that it will really take you under.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm like, I always am told, like, you're so strong. You know what I'm saying? And I have to be. And then there's times like I might have my breaking points, or
You
whatever.
just don't show
But
nobody.
yeah, I may not show
Right,
nobody else, or
definitely.
maybe I'll show the ones that are close to me or whatever. But you have people that are behind you, that support you, that help you, that are so positive, like my friends. They'll tell me, like, don't worry, like, it's
Correct.
gonna be okay. And that's from everything. I don't care if it's, your relationships, if it's your business, whatever it is, you have to have those people behind you too.
Correct.
That push you and let you know, like, look, don't even worry about that
Right.
stuff. I really, sometimes I'm like, man, you're like this ultra, just this superwoman for
Right.
real. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of times people say, well, who inspires you? You hear that a lot.
Absolutely.
Who inspires you? I tell people all the time, I inspire myself.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I inspire myself. I don't look to anybody else. Like, don't get me wrong. I may look at them and be like, wow,
Right.
she's doing it. And that's great, But I inspire myself because I know what I came from and the things that I did and where I'm at today. So I'm like, you're amazing. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And everybody is,
Yeah. And we have to tell ourselves that because we live in a world of so much negativity.
So much.
Whether it's from, if a person works corporate America, they have a negative family member. I mean, just turning on the news every day is negativity, and it'll have you even self-doubting yourself about, your image and all this different things. And so just to be able to tell yourself, you know what, looking in that mirror and saying, you inspire me,
Yep.
or I inspire myself,
Yep.
And so with that being said, and, just talking about, and I really love the fact on how you talk about your family has been instrumental. And so outside of just your family and when you were building your team, what characteristics do you look for when looking to do a partnership or building with someone or even bringing them into your team?
I guess you got to look at them. Like, the thing is you have to, it's just like when you are introduced to somebody, you know
Correct.
what I'm saying? You don't know them.
Right.
So you're like, you kind of go off of like hearsay. Like, if you hear 10 bad things about a person, the chances are that person is a
It's
bad
probably
person.
true, right,
You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Like, well, do I want to take a chance and
Right.
maybe see if they're a good person?
Right.
So, just hearing about, or, not only that, I feel like I'm a good judgment of character.
Definitely.
So I can kind of feel that in some people, and sometimes I don't. And so that's why I have my family and I have friends that tell me, Melissa, this person's not
Right.
good, So I've been blessed in that area because I hear so many people that do say, oh, this was bad and this went wrong and I can't work with my family and I can't do this. So I just happen to be blessed in that
Right.
area. And I'm thankful for that because, like I said, if anything, I can travel, I can go out of town, my stuff was taken care of. I didn't have to worry about anything. I might have to tell my dad, Dad, why you didn't get this done, you know?
Right.
But other than that, like, you know, it always got taken care of. So I never really had to worry. And so just I'm thankful for that, for real.
So just from hearing a lot of that, it kind of gives me, you know, or I'm just reveling in, I read a book by the author John C. Maxwell, and it's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Okay.
And in that book, one of the laws of the leadership is your law of your lid, or the law of the buy-in. Several laws that I'm hearing that, you know, actually identify with you. And so whether you may know it or not, or as you say, you inspire yourself, you're actually a leader. People look to you, they, you know, look up to you. And that's not, that I believe that's something that you develop. And I think, like you said, you were fearless when you started your business.
Right.
You know, you just went out there, you just did it, you believed in yourself, you bet on yourself. So are there things that you do to constantly keep yourself with that mindset? Because it's easy to, you know, have a bad month mentally and just kind of fall off, and making sure that people are still on the team are buying into your vision and all of that. So what do you do to kind of keep yourself going and making sure that people are you know, still following the vision or the path that you set?
Right. Well, I always tell myself I want to make myself proud. So, you know, I keep that in mind all the time.
Definitely.
Like, no matter, even if you fail, like you said, it's a learning experience. It's a learning lesson. So I'm still proud of myself,
Definitely.
you know? So I just try to, you know, like I said, I just try to keep a path of just, you know, I don't like to so much look at the things that I feel like I haven't accomplished, or maybe I haven't got to, or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that I have to work towards. So I don't know. I really just try to stay focused.
Definitely.
And like I said, I just keep, you know how you have goals and stuff like that. My thing is, like I said, just constantly trying to make myself proud, you know, because again, coming from where I came from, I used to be a maid, you know? And so, like, a lot of times people are like, what? They never knew that story about me.
Right.
I think the first time I really, like, heard women ooh and ah, I went to a women's empowerment event, and I never told anybody my story.
Right.
And I got up there, and it was so crazy. First time I had ever spoke. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
Right.
So I literally, like, try to remember it like a speech, you know? And I'm like, but this is your
usually
life,
doesn't
you
come
know?
out. Yeah. You should just,
it came out all messed up to the point where, like, I was almost in tears in that room. And I went, and I went, and I said, give me a second. And I stood to the side, and I told myself, pull it together. For real. Because all you got to do is just tell them where exactly you came from. I did it, and it was just like, it just came out.
Right.
And everybody's like, what? Like, I never knew that about you. And I'm like, yeah, like, so I was lucky to have my daughter's father be able to say, okay, you know what? Whatever it is you want to do, I'm going to help you.
Correct.
And I know that everybody doesn't have that.
Correct.
You know, some people got to go to the bank. They got to get a loan. You know, in my situation, he was the bank,
He was
you
the
know?
bank, definitely.
And it was like, you know, but I still, even though he did that for me, I wanted to be able to say, look, you know, I was successful.
Plus, you still have to put the work in.
And you do. And that's the thing. And that was the thing. I said, a person can give you $1 million. It's not about them giving that money to you. It's about what you do with it. Because some people will go and spend it and trick it off and never see it again.
Right.
But I took it and I made something out of it. And still right now, 7 years later, I'm still doing something.
That's incredible.
With it. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, talking about your story, and not that you have to necessarily get into it unless you want, but one of the things that I love about when people do share their story is just sharing that level of authenticity. And I think that's what people buy into. They don't, it's not, I mean, I know people like the lifestyle and the glamorized stuff and all of that, but people just like authentic individuals because it makes them feel, oh, she is human.
Exactly.
He is human.
Or they're like me, you know, they can
exactly
relate.
Right, exactly. So what's been like just what you've seen from other young Black, you know, queens that are coming up to you? Have they gravitated towards you? Because I'm sure you're inspiring, you know, little girls all over the world. Like, how has that been for you, just to know that you're inspiring someone?
It's amazing. You know, I have so many different stories of, you know, girls that have DM'd me or, you know, sent me an email or whatever. And I try to respond to people because I've always tell people this, no matter what, I don't care what I have, what anybody has. Like, I'm no better than you. You're no better than I am. And so I try to tell people that, like, you're no better no matter what you have. You know, you cut me, I'm going to bleed the same blood you bleed, you know? So it makes me feel really good. And I always have people tell me, like, you're going to be like, you know, you're going to do motivational speaking.
Right.
I hear you talking to young girls and stuff like that. And I want to, because I was 16 years old when I had my son. I dropped out of school. When I found out I was pregnant, I was like, okay, what are you going to do? Because you're a kid having a kid.
Right.
Your parents are working. What are you going to do? I said, you know what? It was either try to go to school because they didn't have daycares and stuff that I couldn't afford that. I said, you know what? I got to drop out. I dropped out. I got me a job. It was not doing anything.
Right.
But at the same time, my mind was, at least help your parents be able to, because my parents are like, you're keeping it,
Right.
So like, at least help them out. I worry about school and all that stuff later. I got to get to this. So that's what I did. I dropped out of school, 16 years old. I was like, dang. I still went. I got my GED.
Right.
I've accomplished so much. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I said, no matter what in life I do, I want to be able to make sure I have something to fall back on. And that's what I want young girls to understand too. Don't ever just depend on a man. No matter what. If my daughter's father was to get married tomorrow and he just said, well, we're not going to be cool no more. I'm not doing anything for you. I will be okay.
Right. You position yourself.
I will. I don't care. I told people I don't care if I had to go flipping burgers and work 2 jobs, 3 jobs.
I'm gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna always make it happen for me. Because
Definitely.
that's just my mindset has always been that way. So no matter what, I want, young girls to know that. Like, even though you may come to a roadblock, that doesn't mean that you can't hurdle over that. Like, don't think that something has to stop you, because it doesn't. A baby doesn't have to stop you. If you come from an abusive relationship, things that happen in your family, whatever, that does not have to stop you. That should make you work harder.
100%.
Yep.
And I always tell people, like, you should never let your situation define what your future is going to look like.
Exactly.
You just got to figure the shit out.
You do.
And that's really the part that I try to tell people, that, it's supposed to be difficult. It's going to be challenges. You're going to face people who are going to hate on you. You're going to fail, all that stuff, but you just got to go through it.
Yep.
And that's, and I don't know, and I'm sure that you probably are sharing that testimonial, but just continue to share that story, because so many of us, so many people definitely need to know it wasn't an easy road for you. It wasn't an easy road for nobody who's seen any glimmer of success, whether it's been financial or just overcoming a hurdle, and all of that good stuff. So no, I definitely appreciate you sharing that with us. So what's next for you? What do you have coming up?
So I'm working on something that I just was telling you about, like being passionate about. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Okay.
I'm not speaking too much about it just because I don't know. Okay, maybe I can.
Okay, because I was going to see if we could twist your arm to get a little bit of what you're working on.
Okay, so I'm coming out with a product of I'm really into like taking care of my skin.
Okay.
Not for my face. Well, I take care of that too, but it's a body like butter and scrubs and all that type of stuff. So for the body, a lot of people, as we know, the skin is the largest organ of the body.
Definitely.
We absorb so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you have energy from people, it's going to be a natural skincare line. I'm really into like health and stuff. I don't eat meat. I eat fish, stuff like that. But I'm really like into health and just knowing that the products that we're putting onto our skin, we don't even think about it. You lotion up, you put deodorant on, all that stuff, and that stuff is all being absorbed into your skin.
Definitely.
So it's just something that, I have a lot of people look at me and they're like, God, you don't look 40. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I am. But like, or somebody brush up against me. Right. Or, somebody will brush up against me and be like, God, your body's so soft. I take care of it. You know what I'm saying? So I got my little tricks, but that's what I'm working on now. I mean, I have the name and everything, but that's my baby right now. So for 2020, when I tell you, like, I just know it's going to be amazing for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So
when you get that going, you'll come back and share with us.
I'll talk about it. I'll bring you a gift. Just like you gave me a gift. I'm going to bring you a gift. Yeah, because it's actually going to be unisex. So it's going to be for men and women. You guys can both use the product. Because I'm big on that. Like, some guys think they too hard to just keep their body. Like, no, I don't want your ashy elbows rubbing up against me, your ashy kneecaps. Keep it together. So, so it's going to be for men and women.
Okay, perfect. So what advice would you give some up-and-coming entrepreneurs, male, female, just anyone who wants to, kind of just bet on themselves? What advice would you give them?
Definitely, whatever you have in mind, if you have, an idea, because everything starts with an idea, go for it. You know what I'm saying? If you have the means to start a business, do it. A lot of people ask me, well, what were some of the mistakes you made in the beginning or whatever. I really think if I would have did anything different, it just would have been going strictly online. Because now I look at how much money I made. I'm like, that would have been all in my pocket,
Right.
But so like for, girls who may be trying to because I get a lot, like, how do I start an online boutique, different stuff like that, or, open a boutique. like I said, if you just weigh your options and see what works best for you. But I just say whatever it is you want to do, you could do it.
Absolutely.
It could be done. So I just want people to know that, like, whatever your vision is and all that, bring it to life and really push and make it happen. And
Absolutely.
if you don't have a strong team behind you, get rid of them. Because nobody should ever make you feel like you can't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You should never hear, oh, no, you're not going to be able to do that. And, maybe if they're telling you, like, really, like, constructive criticism, like, okay, you're just looking to open this big business and you don't have the means to do that. That's one thing. But, like, if they're just doubting your whole everything.
Fire them.
Yes.
Period.
Get rid of them.
What if it's a family member?
Get rid of them. Not like that, but you know what I mean? As far as your business.
What if it's a spouse?
If it's your spouse, that to me, that's not really your spouse if they're not in what you're trying to do. That can't be your husband or your wife.
Definitely.
If they don't have, they should have just as much. You know what I'm saying? They have to believe in you just as much as you do.
100%.
Yeah. If they don't, like, if you don't see my vision, if you don't feel me, like, I would hate to be in that position.
Definitely.
I really would.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, if you don't have people who support you and believe that you can do it, you need to get rid of them.
Definitely. And I like how you keep referencing, the team, your team, whether it's your family and all of that. And I always just say team stands for together, everyone achieving more.
There you go.
And I really love that fact of just how, you embrace the team culture and the team atmosphere. So how can people follow you? How can they stay in touch? All of this great stuff that you have going on.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Melissia Rene. It's MELISSIARENE. I am also I love Snapchat.
Okay.
A lot of people.
Never got into Snapchat.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know how to use it.
It's my favorite.
Okay.
Like, Instagram is cool, but you know what? I really started getting back on, my Instagram just now. I was telling my girlfriend, her, it's like, just, if you post content and stuff, it's really good for you because it can be beneficial in a lot of
100%.
ways. I'm like one of them people, I'm like, I have a lot of stuff, but I'm like, I'm real like humble.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
But lately I've been showing out a bit. But no, I like, so Snapchat is the same thing. Melissia Rene is just another E on the end of Melissia. And also MelissiaRene.com. That's another way to keep up with me too as well.
Okay.
But yeah, Instagram, Snapchat, those are my main things. Those
Okay.
are the things that I'm pretty much on as far as social media
And then what
goes.
about the online boutique? How can they?
Oh yeah, how did I forget about
Yeah, we
that?
can't forget
It's
that.
shopdivannalove.com. And the ladies can go on there. Guys can go and look for something for their ladies, whatever. I have women's shoes, clothes, accessories. And, I'm going to keep that going too. I got to keep my focus on that. It's like trying to juggle two things, but hey, remember what I said? It could be done. Yeah, it can be done.
Definitely.
Yep.
So, no, we definitely appreciate you coming out on extreme short notice.
That's okay.
Y'all
Thank
make sure
you.
y'all go out, support this queen. And just supporting Black businesses
Yes.
is extremely important. We always talk about, the Black dollar and this, that, and the third. So we got to make sure we support each other.
For sure.
And I'll definitely make sure I'm a supporter of, all your brands as well. So family, again, this is Will Roundtree. I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Walanda Quinn for, helping us set up a lot of our guests and getting them out here today. And then also my sponsor, Mochify. I appreciate you guys. And again, for our special guests, for coming in extremely short notice. So I have to keep saying that because I'm extremely, just humbled to be around all this greatness. So again, family, this is Will Roundtree, and I'll see you all at the top. Peace.